Hey friends, in this episode I'm just going to share a little tidbit. A while ago, maybe a week and a half ago, probably 10 days ago, something happened in my experience, and I kind of teased the community a little bit, our social media community, saying something's going on, but Jesus says go forth and tell no one. So I wasn't releasing any information about it at the time. But that's what this episode here is going to be regarding, offering a little clarification. We moved into a new home almost a month ago now, and prior to moving in, I had multiple books come through me, spiritually, psychically. And I was told there'd be more to come as we got moved in and settled. I was also told that I would begin offering guidance, which I have already begun as well. So those are two things that it said would happen and have come to fruition now. I wasn't seeking out a book to write. I wasn't trying to make one up or anything like that. And 10 days ago at breakfast, Jesus came to me and said, I'm going to be writing a book called 10 Days with Jesus. And today was day 10. I've just finished the writing portion of it. It still needs to be transcribed over to a computer now, because what was interesting about this was it was handwritten. It was back to my old practice ways when I first got into the psychic stuff. Those who get the book will see that it was a little bit of a change again for me to do this, but it was very, very beautiful process, and I learned a lot about why I do things, why it was kind of encouraged to do that way. But it's interesting because I didn't anticipate it. I didn't go looking for it. Nor did I do that with the other books that came through. But, it was just neat to have the validation. I was told previous to moving in that the writing would start up again, not knowing what the writing would be, and how it just jumped out that day. Even in the writing process in the beginning of the book, I'm just following directions. So I don't know where it's going at that moment. I don't know where Jesus is leading me. I don't know what expression this book is going to take. And I'm writing and explaining that as it's going on. So it's a very kind of different perspective on all of the other writings that have come through. I've never really written from my perspective at all in the book. It's been all spirit. But on this one, I'm kind of leading the reader through my experience, because it's showing how even my own experience is transforming during the process, which was beautiful. As I just finished it now, I went back and read the first part because I couldn't remember if I had written an introductory to it. And then I see how what I had done was beautiful, because it was explaining the process and how I was being encouraged to use a different process than I had used before. And it's neat looking back now on the end, seeing the transformation in the process too, And although it comes through as 10 days with Jesus, it's very much in alignment with the other things we teach. The psychic work, the spiritual work, the manifestation, all of those things are validated. They all validate each other. So although it's a book about Jesus for even those people who may or may not believe in Jesus, the teachings themselves are the substantial truths that can be applied in order to gain transformation, regardless of a relationship with Jesus. That's a little bit of a common misunderstanding. You don't need Jesus to do God's will. God's will is your true will. It's your consciousness. So as you align with that, you're expressing yourself as pure consciousness. Well, that's what Christ, Jesus' last name, meant, was pure consciousness. That is doing God's will. So you don't need a middleman. That's an interpretation of the carnal mind that it wasn't sufficient. So, just in case anybody is scared away of the title of Jesus, it's very substantial. In fact, so something to consider is, for those of you not already kind of subscribing to Jesus as religion kind of promotes him to be, I think that a lot of actual religious people of the Christian faith, when they read this, they might have difficulty with it, because it's not Jesus expressing things so commonly taught as in the Bible. It's practical. It's all practical. A lot of clarification, but there's quite a few not misinterpretations, reinterpretations or clarifications of the biblical expression of him, or the biblical interpretation of him. Not because he's concerned of how people think of him. This is what Spirit's putting in my mind as Jesus. Not because Jesus is concerned of what people think of him. That's not why he's clarifying it. He's clarifying it so that we better understand how to do our part, how to transcend the carnal. That was why he came to do what he did in the first place. That is why he used the words that he did. That's why he taught what he taught, so that we may learn and apply and transform. And what a lot of people might not know is when these revelations are coming through psychically, it's not my belief. So what I wrote on those pages weren't necessarily my beliefs, and so much of it is new thought to me, new understandings, that they're revelations to me. So writing the book was helpful to me to deepen my own understanding of these types of things, to reaffirm the truths that maybe some of the truths I had been familiar with in the past, but to also give me new understandings of things that I had never considered before, that Spirit and Jesus felt were what they were inspired to speak on. So although I don't have a timeline of when I'll wrap it up, but now that the writing process is done, I'll begin the rest of it, and I'll let the community know with an episode in the future as it is ready. But such a transformative process that inspired me to share this. I think anybody who's open and ready will find something of benefit in there. For those that are closed and not ready, it won't offer you any more than anything else in this world's currently offering you, likely, But we do have a community that is open, that is doing things progressive, that is seeking, that is growth oriented. So it's all, I would say it's all of those things. It ticks all of those boxes. All right, so and who knows? I don't really know what's to come of it just yet. I know that I'm being led to put it into an ebook form. I'll allow Spirit to continue to guide me. I haven't spent too much time contemplating that and asking Spirit and Jesus for direction on that, because I've still been in the 10-day window of actually gaining the insights of the material to write them down, right? So now that we're at this process, I can I'll move on to the next stage instead of putting the cart before the horse prior. I'm doing it now, kind of, and yeah. And there's value to me sharing this too. I feel like there's value to me sharing it because it might inspire some of our community or some new viewers or listeners to begin to understand that these things aren't reserved for special people. It's right there if we align with it. We just need to refine our mind and receptive state, and we've all got the capacity. We've all got the ability. And the only thing holding us back, the only obstacle is the carnal mind. And the carnal mind's excuses of it's boring or it takes too much work or this, that, and the other, whatever excuse it can suggest. And if we're, inspired to take the bait from the carnal mind in that moment, then we get distracted and we don't grow towards it, right? But that is our life purpose, is to grow towards that and grow in it, grow in and of it, and allow it to express itself as consciousness, as God, right? All right, so I'll close it there. Love you. Talk to you soon.